I've been up since 5 a.m. with my youngest son, and I had a lot of time to start diving into our Slack channel that we have in a community for all the people that we support in our Expert Selling Machine program. And there was some conversations going on about patience in lead generation and maturing those prospects to the point of turning them into clients. So where it all stems from is the idea that, typically when a person is in high ticket consulting, coaching, or speaking, so they're selling, services to the tune of $1,000 to $10,000 a month, whatever it happens to be. There's wide ranges on this, obviously. That a typical sales cycle is going to be 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months, right? And most of us, me included, have challenges sometimes in being patient enough to see that through. And what I wanted to talk about here, and you can see it on the title that I gave this live, is the real messy buyer's journey for high-ticket consulting, coaching, and speaking. So this is something that I've had in my mind and have jotted down on some text documents recently, and we've been building out some different graphics to represent what this buyer's journey actually looks like. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you are selling services business to business primarily as a consultant, a coach, or a speaker, this is what it looks like. So I wanted to share this with you. And yeah, let's just get into it. So I'm going to share my screen here and just show all of you a lucid chart that we've created recently to support our students in our program. So what this is a flow chart essentially that represents the message sequencing that we do when we work with our clients and our students inside of our mentoring program. And you can see here that it starts with, identifying your target audience, sending connection requests, monitoring the responses from those, having some follow-up, sending custom responses to people that reply to you, sending surveys out, getting conversations going, providing value in the form of articles or videos or whatever it might be, getting people onto appointments or phone calls using a calendar system, and then, of course, working into your sales process, right? And while this is shiny and nice and gives some structure, and I think when people come into our program, they see this and they go, oh, okay, finally, I've got a plan, right? The truth is that buyer's journey happens way before this too. And it's quite messy. It really is. So let me paint you a picture of what this looks like. So if you think about the typical buyer's journey, and I'll just do it for our program, for example, if somebody is looking for help with LinkedIn marketing, what they might do is just literally go into Google and type LinkedIn marketing, right? We have a ton of people that come to us as a result of typing in LinkedIn marketing. And what are they going to find? Well, of course, they're going to find a lot of articles about LinkedIn, on LinkedIn, all that kind of stuff, right? So the more that you can create content to be exposed in this way is a good thing. They may go to YouTube as well, or just to the video section. You can see here, I've got a video that ranks very high for those keywords, for example. So this is a video, and it's going to play an ad really quickly here. Let me just turn off the volume on that. And let's skip that ad. So this is an interview that I did with a friend of mine, Stephen James, about a year ago, talking about how to use LinkedIn to generate sales and grow your online business. We have a lot of people that find me because of this, right? So they end up coming into our world or entering into this scenario where they're booking an appointment because of a Google search, right? And the reason they're doing that is because they have a pain point, right? They have something that they want to solve, and they're going online and they're searching for the answer to that problem. Now, it could be coming from a referral. It could be coming from you meeting that person at a live networking event, whatever it happens to be. They're going to come into your world from a typical search like this. Now, the thing is, though, is that when people land on stuff like this and they find something, they may watch this video of me, for example, and go, huh, this is interesting. I might actually want to dive a little deeper into this. So they start looking down into the comment section here, into the description section, right? And they see that, Stefan linked up a webinar that we had done together, which now, in fact, in our case, it currently links to a different webinar than what we originally did. But now here's a webinar page that people might come to learn more, right? So if they go ahead and register for this webinar, what they end up getting is a follow-up email and then an invitation to show up to that webinar. And then they also get a document that is our solo funnel. So in this case, this is a PDF that we provide to people to help them understand how to build a funnel for their solopreneur business. And it starts with LinkedIn, clarifying your audience, connecting with them using these different authority type campaigns. And you can see we've got them all linked up here, going to different types of campaigns to give people a visual as to how this actually works. And then, of course, into convert, which is to get them to join a community, opt in with an email, make an application, book a meeting, register for an event, whatever that conversion event looks like. And of course, we link up a bunch of tools that we recommend as well. So this could be a typical buyer's journey. But again, you know, if somebody drops off there because they get busy, they got to go pick up the kids, whatever, they could close all this stuff down and not come back to it, right? They might even forget who I am. So what do I need to do then? Of course, if I'm capturing emails through my webinar, for example, or any kind of opt-in page, I need to stay in touch with them via email. I need to provide valuable content, right? And it's this kind of content. So like creating a Facebook Live that then becomes a video that I can put into my email marketing and then send people back to this later on. Now, if they start seeing my name in their inbox, they might go, who's this Trevor Turnbull guy again, right? So they might just type into the address bar and go and Google my name and what's going to come up, right? And this is where I always speak to the fact that like you have about 3 to 5 seconds to capture somebody's attention when they first come across you and your brand. And what's represented here on the Google search page is that first impression, right? So like, are you dominating the search results for your name? Number one, do you have a website under your name? Do you have a LinkedIn profile? Of course, right? It's going to rank in the top 2 or 3 all the time. I've got a Twitter account linked up here. There's a lot of images of me, of course, online. There's a bunch of videos that are interviews that I've done, podcasts, that type of thing, a link to our main website, a link to my Facebook profile. Again, this is the buyer's journey, right? So now they're Googling my name and they're clicking through on these things. And maybe they go, oh, this looks interesting. I'm talking about how I was able to get 25,000 students into a LinkedIn program with the guys from Thinkific. So maybe they go and watch this video now, right? And that might lead them down a path of coming back to that search again and looking up something else, right? Maybe they see this podcast and they want to go check that out. And then they come back into their LinkedIn account and they see that I've sent them a connection request and that we've had some conversations back and forth. And, you know, we're treating this LinkedIn profile like an email list, right? Because we're staying in touch. We're offering value in the form of articles and content. And all of this, again, is driving towards an appointment, right? And actually, let me just show you something really quickly here, because I created a document that basically maps out our entire funnel just to blow your minds here as to what I do in my spare time. So this is a lucid chart that shows the flow of every asset that we have online that all leads back to our appointment campaign, right? So a solopreneur strategy session is what we call it, right? And then you notice here, we've got email follow-ups, we've got retargeting that's a part of that, but look at all of these different assets that I've created. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do this. This has been built over 4 years. Right? This didn't happen overnight. We started with this, which is the appointment campaign, which is basically people going to this page right here to decide whether or not they want to actually book a call and dive a little bit deeper. And then as soon as they do that and they watch this video and they go and they book their call, they land on an application page that fills out some more information about them so we can learn about them. And then they get a thank you page that then feeds them our MVP method guide, which you can see here. So this is a 40-page guide that speaks about the challenges and frustrations that solopreneurs go through in building a thriving B2B consulting, coaching, or speaking business where you don't have to rely on referrals or attend time-consuming networking events. And it really dives deep into this, and it talks about our methodology again, right, which is our MVP method. Let me just scroll through this. I'll show you. So some of this is just social proof and authority building and trust being built from a result of people seeing that I've been doing this for a long time. I've failed many times to get to this point. I've had my work featured in Forbes. I've written articles for Entrepreneur. I have a methodology. We have a process that we run people through that's called the Solo Funnel again. And again, you can see it linked up here on this document. And that might be the next thing that they see, right? Or maybe they end up on my Forbes article and they read about the MVP method there, right? Or maybe they end up on Entrepreneur and they start trying to figure out, like, who is this guy really? Okay, I get it. He kind of understands what's going on in business, but Is he human? Is he a real person? Has he actually failed? Has he done this successfully? And I talk about that in this article, how I've been able to look at some of the quote unquote deaths that have happened in my life that a person can deem as negative, which I did for a long time too. I would say to myself, F my life. Like, how could this possibly be happening to me? But I've decided in the last, number of years, 5 years, to shift my mindset on that, to turn it from one of like, why are things happening to me instead of things are happening for me, even when it doesn't seem like it's a positive thing. And I also, and this isn't public yet, so I'll just show everybody this, but this is my new personal website. And you can see the photos a little bit off right now. I got to get my designer to fix that. But this website, again, is an extension of my personal brand. If somebody is on this messy buyer's journey to figure out, like, who is this guy? What does he do? Does he have any validity and backing for success of what he's done? Has he failed? Has he been able to show people the right way to do things? Is there social proof? Here's our methodology with our guide again. I've got a video here from a presentation that I did about a month ago talking about whether or not you should quit what you're doing or double down. And the idea of how our mindset says that whenever things get hard, that we typically quit, right? Usually right when things are about to turn and, turn into a positive, where you start to see all the rewards from all your hard work, right? And there's a number of other videos and links up to our articles published on Forbes and Entrepreneur and Money. Some social proof again regarding all the different places I've spoken at with regards to, in this case, a lot of these are in the sports industry. Some testimonials here, ways that I serve people through B2B direct LinkedIn lead generation through our agency, LinkedIn to Leads, through our mentoring program, through Expert Selling Machine, through my Legacy After the Game business, which is primarily focused on supporting sports professionals, student athletes, amateur athletes in career transition, right? So going from being an athlete, identifying themselves as an athlete, and moving into the real world and how you can transfer those skills over. So this is the ugly buyer's journey. And again, like when I get on the phone with people, and I'm just going to show you one more example here, and then I'm going to shut this down because I got to go do a sales call here in a second. But here is our Infusionsoft application. And if I was to go in here, and I'm just going to take a look at Mike and his contact record. Okay, so I'm talking to Mike next week, and Mike, hopefully you don't mind me showing this, but I think it really speaks to kind of the conversation that Mike and I had the other day. These are tags that are inside of our content management, our CRM, our customer relationship management software called Infusionsoft. And you can see here, this is the earliest time that we were tracking people in this system was in May of 2016. So there's a tag in here that shows me that Mike was a member of a training program that we no longer sell called 30-Day Sales Machine way back in May of 2016. And since then, look at all the tags that have been applied to Mike's contact record. So some of these are tags based on triggers of me sending him videos and content. Others are for him registering for webinars multiple times, registering for our challenge that we did back in December of this last year. And then, of course, Mike just reached out to me and said, like, let's maybe do a call. I'm not sure how you can help me or if I need the help, but I'm interested to just at least have a discussion to see how you can cut the learning curve, how he can, create more consistency in his lead flow and ultimately land more clients so that he can make the kind of money that he needs to create the freedom and the lifestyle that he wants to be able to do whatever, right? Spend more time with family, travel more, have better clients, whatever the case might be. So all of this stuff is kind of the culmination of, and that's why the reason why I showed you that is because I wanted to show people what it looks like from what we actually track. It's hard for me to see what a person goes down for a journey as far as finding me, finding our program, finding our content. There's a lot of ways to do that through referrals, through Google searches, through advertising, all these things. But I can actually see in our database here the journey that Mike's gone on, for example, to lead to a phone call, right? 2.5 years later, almost 3 years later. And now we're going to be having a conversation. I don't know if we're going to be able to support Mike or help him. It depends on where he's at in his business and what he needs help with and how our conversation goes and all that. But I wanted to show you this because this came up for me this morning as I was answering questions inside of our Slack channel, which actually, let me share my screen one more time. I'm going to show you guys one more thing and then I'll sign off here. So this is our Slack channel right here. And you can see right here that I posted a couple of things in here talking about this buyer's journey again, and the fact that there's a few key things that we always have to remember. And I've added this quote in here. This was a quote that was said by Dr. Nima Ramani on our last mindset call that we did with our program. And that is, confidence comes from the conscious awareness of the incremental progress towards something meaningful. I have this written down. I have it on my wall. It's something that I constantly remind myself of, that I need to be aware of the fact that I need to put one foot in front of the other, right? And also, and I just added this into the post too, because I did this for our group, for the people in our program, to say, like, keep going, you know? You're gonna kiss a few frogs along the way, but you have to be conscious of these things. If your sales cycle is more than 90 days, you could be right on the cusp of seeing success just as you're about to quit. So don't stop, right? Secondly, just because your prospects are not replying to messages that you send to them, whether it's on LinkedIn or by email or social or whatever, it does not mean that they're not listening. It just means that they're not ready to talk to you. It means that they're doing their own research behind the scenes. And ultimately, it's your job to illuminate the pains that they have, to show them how you can support them, how you can solve problems for them. Nobody wants to just part with their money just for the sake of doing so. They want to have a solution. They want to get a result, right? And then, of course, like I just said, most people quit right before they're about to realize their dreams. And I actually posted this video in here. If you guys aren't familiar with, what the heck's this guy's name again? Let me just see here. Andy Frizella. A friend of mine, actually, John Tokar, who may be watching this now or will watch this on the replay, mentioned him in a post this morning, and I saw that, and so I went and researched Andy. I had seen him before, but he kind of fell out of my consciousness. So talk about a buyer's journey. Like, I'm deep into Andy's stuff now, right? I'm signed up for his email list. I'm going to start getting his notifications. I may become a client of his at some point. I don't even know what he sells, right? But the first discovery for me was seeing that my students needed to see this. Then seeing my friend John post online about Andy Frizella, and then going, geez, I should go Google him. I Googled his name. I came across this video. I shared it with our students. Now there's a journey happening where some of our students could go and become clients of Andy's. I could become a client of Andy's. This is how it works. And people want to see this perfect path to success in the form of what I showed you here, which is do this, then do this, then do that, then do this. It does not work like that. Literally, if I was to map out this buyer's journey, it is a mess. It's all over the place. And, you know, there's a stat out there, and I don't know the accuracy of this because it's hard to measure, but up to 90% of the buyer's journey is happening before anybody ever even talks to you. So you have to know that what you're doing consistently is going to pay off, even if you're not seeing the direct results right away. Okay? That's it. I'm going to shut her down from here. I got to get off to this call. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for watching. I'd appreciate your comments. If this struck a chord for you, let me know down in the comments below about what your experience has been in the buyer's journey and how your clients end up coming to you, or even how you end up becoming a client of somebody else. All right? Take care. Have a great rest of your day.